How's it going, gamers? Chongo here, and today I've got a gameplay commentary for you guys. The gameplay is of Splinter Cell Blacklist on the PC, and today's commentary topic is about video games being good for young people because this study has recently come out and that's what it was suggesting, so let's get into it. Now, the study is from the Queensland University of Technology. It's actually the university that I go to. A user sent me this link and I read it and I thought it sounded quite interesting, and basically the study suggests that moderate, non-excessive levels of playing games are associated with positive emotions and improved mood, improved emotion regulation, and emotional stability, and the reduction of emotional disturbances. Playing video games is a healthy means of relaxation, stress reduction, and socializing, and people who play video games in moderation have significantly less depressed mood and higher self-esteem compared with those who don't play video games at all or those who play excessively. Now, most people that I know do play games do realize that there are obviously some benefits to playing games, and I mean, obviously if you shoot something in a game or you use that to get rid of your anger, that's obviously a better means than, go punch a wall or go actually hitting someone. It's better to play a game and take it out in a virtual world where you're not actually going to be hurting anyone. But the thing with that is, this was more for young people, so it wasn't maybe for people around my age, I'm not really sure, but I mean, back when I was playing like RuneScape like over 10 years ago, I found it very enjoyable to just play in something like that, as well as like it helped my maths abilities and all that kind of stuff, trying to work out with gold and that kind of stuff. So there's basic like other elements that you can just, have education built into a game, but I don't like those games where it's just all about education. And I mean, those games, kids see right through them. They're really boring, and all that they're there for is just to say, oh, let's learn some stuff, and that's it. There's nothing else surrounding it at all, and it gets really boring for kids. So it's always fun to play a game that isn't completely based on education or anything like that, but something that is fun to play but also has education in there. So like I said, with maths, with RuneScape and all that kind of stuff, if you're a kid, obviously that's something you'd enjoy. Now, this study said time and time again that it was about people who play games non-excessively, so you don't just sit down all day and play games, someone who plays it in moderation. Now, I think I'd probably play games in moderation more now than I did back when I was a kid, because when you are a kid, you don't really have much like things to do. Yes, you can go outside and play, do that kind of stuff, but when you're older, you have a lot of other things to do. Like, for example, I'd be doing uni homework and stuff like that, and that's why I haven't been making videos as much lately, and therefore I haven't been playing games. And it's just, when you get to a certain age, you don't really have as much time for games on hobbies and that kind of thing, which is kind of unfortunate, but that's just the way life works. But when you are a kid, like back when you did homework in high school or even primary school, if you go that far back, the work wasn't that hard. I mean, I remember I'd sit there, like when I was in grade 7, I'd wait to the very last day and do my homework in 30 minutes for the whole week, and I'd be like, wow, that was easy. And then I just spend the rest of the time like playing games and all that kind of thing. So it's very clear that if you keep playing games excessively, that's not going to be good for your health, because obviously that's going to impact negatively on everything else I've already mentioned. For example, socializing. If you keep playing a game, and like, yes, you can be social in a game, but if you're not going out in the real world and socializing, that can sort of impact you negatively, as well as that could probably change your emotional moods and all that kind of stuff. So it can basically have the opposite effect if you think, oh, this study says I can play games and this is going to help me, and you just go in and play for 12 hours straight or whatever. That's obviously not going to be a good thing. Now, one thing about this study and others is I've never really seen one like dictate what is the moderate amount of games you should be playing. Like, is it 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 4 hours a day? What's the amount that should be what you should aim for, I suppose, if you go for something like that? Like, I mean, with exercise, they say you should be doing at least 30 minutes a day, but for gaming, they don't really have a point yet, and they're saying that their next study is going to be more to do with stuff like that, so what constitutes a healthy or moderate amount of play for people at different stages of their lives. So my guess is that's probably going to be, so it may be a lot less when you get older, but it won't really matter if it is or isn't, because as I said before, when you grow up, you don't really have as much time to play games as you'd like to. So I'm glad more studies are being done like this, because it would be good in the future if we are getting, more information on how well gaming is for us and how much is too much and all that kind of thing, so that people do know not to go overboard and, do massive play sessions. I mean, I haven't done a massive play session of any game since I was a kid. At this point, I can barely play a game for a couple of hours before I need to take a break and go and do something else. So I think that's something that you kind of mature with. Like, as a kid, you don't really know that, and you just sort of sit there all day playing games, but when you sort of grow up, you sort of realize when you need to stop and go and do something different. So anyway, this brings me to my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, and if you've got any comments about whether you think video games are good for people, like if they have good benefits to playing them, and whether you play games in moderation or how you do anything like that, put it down below. And if you want to join the Gamerhood, just subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.